Our headlines for tonight: Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon tells Zaldico to come home and face charges filed against him.
7 congressman contractors faces graft and plunder cases as recommended to be filed before the Office of the Ombudsman.
The Bureau of Internal Revenue files 2 new tax evasion cases against Bulacan contractors.
The poll body terminates Senator Krizza Escudero's case receiving campaign donation from contractor.
Massive fire engulfed high-rise housing complex in Hong Kong, killing over 50 people and left hundreds and more missing. Good evening, bringing you the latest news for tonight. I am ALVIN, PELOBELLO.
And I am KRIZZA Lopez. This is Eurotv News. For the details on our broadcast, Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon has backed President Marcos in slamming ex-lawmaker Zaldico, challenging him to return to the country and face plunder and graft cases over alleged ghost and substandard flood control projects.
Zaldico has been accusing the chief executive against budget insertion on the GA 2025 and 2026, as well as project kickbacks. More from this report.
Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon has echoed President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s statement against resigned Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldico over his allegations related to ghost and substandard flood control projects. According to Dizon in his statement, although it is not yet certain whether Ko will return to the country or not, his challenge is to go home and face the president and the cases filed against him. This follows the filing of cases by the Independent Commission for Infrastructure and the Department of Public Works and Highways before the Office of the Ombudsman against the members of the House of the Representatives who are implicated in the anomalous flood control project. The cases filed includes plunder, graft, and bribery. Ko has repeatedly released taped confession videos in which he accuses the President, First Lady Liza Arneta Marcos, and Presidential son and House Senior Deputy Majority Leader Sandro Marcos. In Ko's latest video, he accuses Marcos and the First Lady who are behind the rice and onion cartels, which he said the reason why the prices of rice and other basic commodities in the country are still high. The Department of Agriculture first responded to Ko's accusation, with DA Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr. himself saying that the allegation was a total baloney. Ko also is blackmailing the chief executive. Alyansa ng Bantay sa Kapayapaan at Demokrasya Chairman Emeritus Dr. Jose Antonio Guisha also defended the chief executive and the First Lady, noting that the former lawmaker's statement was a fraud. The group challenged Ko to face the law if he really has the truth. According to the Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, they do not yet have information on Ko's whereabouts. This is ALVIN PELOBELLO for Eurotv News.
After the corruption case and arrest warrant against ex-lawmaker Zaldico, 7 more congressmen are now facing possible plunder and graft charges over alleged involvement in the multi-billion peso flood control mess. Via Layagin has the full report.
Aside from former Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldico, who faces multiple charges and arrest warrant over corruption allegations, more lawmakers are to be charged after being implicated in the flood control mess. On Wednesday, the Independent Commission on Infrastructure and Department of Public Works and Highways recommended before the Ombudsman the filing of charges against 7 more contractors who owns or have links with construction companies who had contracts under government infra projects. The cases possibly to be charged against these congressmen are plunder, graft, bribery, and conflict of interest over violation of Code of Conduct for Government Officials and Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. Among the lawmakers recommended to be charged are Construction Workers Solidarity Representative Edwin Garjola over his ties with 3 construction firms where his first family are officers and stockholders. Uswag Ilonggo Representative James Ang Jr., who was tagged on 2 firms where his uncle is chairperson. Pusong Pinoy Representative Journey Nisay was listed as the sole proprietor of JVN Construction and Trading. Bulacan Representative Agustina Pancho is linked with CM Pancho Construction Incorporated with his relatives as stockholders. Cagayan Representative Joseph Lara, whose 4 children are stockholders at JLL Pulsar Construction Corporation. Surigao del Norte Representative Francisco Matugas, whose nephew is a major stockholder at Bumetrix Development Corp. And Tarlac Representative Noel Rivera, who is a major stockholder in Tarlac 3G Construction and Development Corp. ICI noted that these lawmakers have acquired over 1,000 of public work projects from 2016 to 2024, amounting to 92.28 billion pesos. ICI emphasized that Congressman cannot engage with private business activities that may pose conflict on their duties as public officials. Meanwhile, the Ombudsman have also requested before the Bureau of Immigration to issue a foreign travel restriction order against 77 government officials allegedly linked with the flood control anomaly. On the other hand, 8 officials of DPWH Mimaropa who have been charged with graft cases have appealed not guilty before the Sandigan Bayan 5th Division. This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
Agriculture Secretary Francisco Tiu Laurel Jr. has flatly denied Saldico's latest accusations on rice and onion imports, accusing the former lawmaker of lying and repeatedly seeking multi-billion peso import favors from the agency. Banasa Cleofas with the report.
Saldico, ang masasabi ko sa iyo, umuwi ka na, harapin mo lahat. Yan ang panawagan ng mamamayang Pilipino.
This is the call made by Agriculture Secretary Francisco Tiu Laurel Jr. to former Congressman Saldico following the accusations he has shown at the Department of Agriculture or DA and others in his most recent uploaded video on his Facebook page. According to Secretary, all of Saldico's statements are lies. The truth, he said, is that Saldico is the one constantly asking for favors from the DA for the import allocation of sugar, which amounts to 200,000 metric tons or roughly 2 billion pesos, and the importation of 13 million metric tons of rice, equivalent to 30 million metric tons of rice production from local farmers in the country. The video also mentioned the sudden spike in onion prices in 2022, which reached 600 pesos per kilogram. The reason for this, according to Tiu, was not because of controlled onion imports of smugglers controlled by Martin Araneta, but rather because of supply and demand issues or the lack of supply at the time.
2 taon na ako dito sa opisina ko, kahit isang beses walang binigay o walang request sa akin si Martin Araneta na for importation of onions or any agricultural commodities. Hindi ho katulad ni Saldico. It's a simple supply and demand issue. Hindi rin ako naniniwala that time na may nag-hoard ng onions, contrary sa mga pinagsasabi ng mga iba. Walang negosyante or importer or trader na mag-hold ng stocks ng kanilang onion at itatago kung ang presyo ay 700 pesos na i-release lahat yan. Di ba? Hindi talaga bumaba lang ang presyo at tumaas yun dahil walang supply. It's as simple as that.
He also denied the claims that the First Lady interfered in the mentioned importation, stating that the truth is she never meddled in any matters or decision made by the agency. Tiu added it is untrue that the Quintacom hearing in the investigation of the onion price hikes in the House of Representatives in 2022 was halted because of a confidential report presented to lawmakers that mentioned the name of First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos.
Ito ho ay walang katotohanan. Fabricated lie ho to. Napakasinungaling talaga niya. The First Lady has never meddled in any DA matters. Hindi kailanman nakialam ang ating First Lady. Ito ho yung confidential report na sinabit namin sa Kongreso. Wala ho pangalan ni First Lady dito. Napakasinungaling talaga.
Meanwhile, aside from the sugar importation allocation that Saldico requested, he also asked for 3,000 containers of imported fish for his nominated companies. There is a proof of this in the form of a screenshot of a text message from Ko, but Tiu said it cannot be made public because doing so would violate the law without cause consent. Therefore, Tiu is asking lawmakers for support.
Pwede kong pakita sa inyo to. But under the law pala, I just found out na kung gusto nyo makita to, kailangan may consent ni Saldico. So Saldico, magbigay lang ng consent po para makita nila na ng public na to. Pakilang.
On the other hand, Tiu's legal team is now considering filing a cyber libel case against Saldico for his false accusations against Tiu, the Department of Agriculture, and even the First Lady. However, Tiu emphasized that they do not want to rush into any decision at this moment. Lastly, Secretary Tiu said that the video made by Ko was not truly about showing concern for the welfare of farmers, fishermen, or public. The truth, according to him, is that it was solely about his personal interest and agenda. This is Vanessa Cleofas for Eurotv News.
The Bureau of Internal Revenue has filed criminal complaints against two construction firms over 13.8 million pesos in tax deficiencies tied to unbilled flood control projects in Bulacan as part of its crackdown on corruption and ghost projects. Mia Layagan returns for the details.
Amid the government's probe against corruption, the Bureau of Internal Revenue have also intensified its crackdown against contractors with ghost and anomalous flood control projects with tax deficiencies. This week, BIR filed a new batch of criminal complaints against some individuals and companies tied in flood control mess in Bulacan, namely IM Construction Corporation and SYMS Construction Trading. The complaint includes violation of tax evasion law and willful failure to supply correct and accurate information against the two companies and some of its representatives over 13.8 million pesos tax deficiencies. BIR's findings found out that IM Construction received payments for the construction of a pumping station and floodgate in Barangay Santo Rosario in Hagonoy. However, there were no physical proof of its construction. The agency also found the same discrepancies with SYMS Construction Trading's reinforced Riverwalk project in Barangay Piel in Baliwag. Despite receiving 100% of the payment, there were no project established in the area. BIR said that false declaration of costs and spendings for unaccomplished projects are an indication of tax evasion and misuse of public funds. These two new complaints brings the number of charges filed against those linked in the scandal to 12 cases for over 8.87 billion pesos tax liabilities. This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
The Political and Financial Department of the Commission on Election has decided to terminate Senator Escudero's case of receiving 30 million pesos campaign donation from one of the controversial contractors involved in the flood control anomaly. Here's the details.
The Political and Financial Affairs Department of the Commission of Elections, or COMELEC, has recommended the termination of the case against Senator Chis Escudero regarding his acceptance of donation from a contractor. According to COMELEC's Political Finance and Affairs Department of FIPAD, there is no evidence that Escudero violated election codes when he received a 30 million pesos campaign donation from Lawrence Lubiano, owner of Centerways Corporation. In its legal findings, the PFAD emphasized that Centerways Corporations and Lubiano are separate legal entities even if Lubiano owns the company. The department highlighted that being an officer or stockholder of a corporation is not sufficient grounds to disregard the legal distinction between the individual and the corporation. The corporate bail may only be pierced if there is clear evidence of fraud, evasion of legal obligations, or injustice. The resolution state that there is no indication that Lubiano acted as an alter ego of Centerways For the purpose of circumventing Section 95 of the Omnibus Election Code, the PPAD stressed that Lubiano has the personal right to donate to Escudero. In the end, the COMELEC department decided to dismiss the investigation into Escudero's alleged violation of Section 95 of the OEC. The case stemmed from Escudero's statement of contributions and expenditures or SOSE, where it was revealed that he received a 30 million pesos donation from Lubiano, owner of the construction firm Centerways. This comes in the midst of heightened scrutiny of government corruptions issues involving officials within the DPWH. This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
3 days before the Baha sa Luneta 2.0 kicks off, where organizations are expecting hundreds to attend the protest, the Philippine security is set to implement maximum tolerance towards rallies. Henry Nicolas has more.
Starting Friday, November 28, the National Capital Region Police Office will be placed on full alert status in preparation for the scheduled anti-corruption rally or the Trillion Peso Rally March, which is expected to be attended by about 300,000 protesters. According to PNP spokesperson Brigadier General Randolph Tuanio, among the areas they will be monitoring are 3 well-known sites for protest actions, including the EDSA Shrine, People Power Monument, and Quirino Grandstand, in addition to the 23 other locations. Currently, the Trillion Peso movement is the only group approved to conduct the said activity on EDSA White Plains. In a statement from the Quezon City Police District, they will be deploying approximately 2,000 personnel strategically assigned along key areas and routes to manage the expected volume of participants. In addition, more than 1,000 personnel from the Quezon City local government will provide support in crowd management, traffic control, and medical assistance. The QCPD further reminds participants to strictly follow lawful instructions, avoid bringing prohibited items, remain vigilant, and immediately report any suspicious individuals or activities to authorities. Manila Police District or MPD spokesperson Police Major Philip Ines stated that they will implement maximum tolerance and reminded the participants of the limitations of conducting a rally. Philippine Coast Guard or the PCG is also coordinating with its partner agencies to provide support, particularly to the PNP. According to PCG spokesperson Captain Noemi Cayabyab, they will deploy medical teams and K9 units to provide additional security to maintain a peaceful conduct of the event.
Sa Philippine Coast Guard ay magbibigay po ng assistance sa Philippine National Police, particularly po yung pag-deploy ng ating mga personnel sa mga area po na pupuntahan po ng ating rally at magpo-provide rin po tayo ng ating mga team na magbibigay ng medical assistance as well as yung ating mga K9 dogs to provide security as well. Yes, within the vicinity naman po ng Manila Bay, just to ensure na we will be conducting this rally na peaceful and safe po and secure ng ating mga kababayan.
Overall, according to the PNP, a total of 15,000 personnel will be deployed across the NCR to ensure the protest action is orderly and peaceful, with 12,000 of these personnel assigned to Manila as per the MPD. This is Henry Nicolas for Eurotv News.
In less than 5 minutes and no questions asked, the Senate Budget Plenary approves the 889 million pesos fund of the Office of the Vice President. Here's the details.
The Senate swiftly approved the 889 million pesos budget of the Office of the Vice President for fiscal year 2026 within less than 5 minutes. Vice President Sara Duterte personally attended the Senate budget for her office. Meanwhile, Senator Robin Padilla delivered a manifesto during the session. Padilla expressed his gratitude for the increased allocation for the OBP, adding his appreciation that the Senate was not behind any effort to restrict the budget of the Vice President for next year.
Sa lahat po na bumubuo, sa lahat po ng mga senador, maraming salamat po at hindi po nagmula dito sa ating bulwagan ang pang-iipit sa ating pangalawang Pangulo. Muli po, maraming salamat at pinatutunayan ko po ng napakalaki ng naitulong ng ating pangalawang Pangulo.
With no further questions concerning the OBP's budget, Senate Majority Leader J.V. Ejercito moved to close the interpellation. This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
Construction Worker Solidarity Party List Representative Edwin Gardiola has denied allegations linking him to irregular flood control projects, calling the claims baseless and expressing readiness to face any inquiries. Catherine Landicho tells us more.
Construction Workers Solidarity or CWS Party List Representative Edwin Gardiola issued a statement after his name was linked to alleged irregularities in flood control projects. He expressed disappointment over the mention of his name, saying it was disheartening to be associated with supposed misconduct. Gardiola denied the allegations, stressing that the accusations have no basis. He also said he is willing to attend any inquiry or hearing if required. This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
Quezon City 5th District Representative PM Vargas voluntarily faced the Independent Commission on Infrastructure, denying alleged ghost projects and presenting documents he says prove no irregularities in his district. Catherine Landicho returns.
Fifth repeated that he Commission on Infrastructure or ICI to defend the truth regarding his alleged involvement in the issue. He said he presented documents and other evidence showing that no irregular projects exist in Quezon City's 5th District, firmly denying the claims that there were ghost projects in the area. Vargas also shared information with the ICI that he believes could help the Commission fulfill its mandate. The congressman expressed his gratitude to the ICI for giving him the opportunity to correct what he described as false accusations and misinformations against him. This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
A barangay captain from Masantol, Pampanga was killed in an ambush on Tuesday night, with another village official wounded as police scrambled to identify suspects behind the attack. Shai Morales reports.
A barangay captain from Barangay Balibago in Masantol, Pampanga, identified as Jinky or Buboy Kembao, was killed in an ambush on Tuesday night, November 25. According to reports, the victim was on his way home with several barangay captains after attending the birthday celebration of Mayor Danilo Ginto at the Municipal Function Hall when they were ambushed in Barangay Alauli. Another barangay captain who was with the victim was also reported injured in the attack. According to the victim's family, the incident came as a shock since they know of no enemies or conflicts involving the barangay captain, leaving them still without any idea about the possible motive behind the killing. Mayor Ginto also released a statement regarding the incident. He expressed deep sorrow over what happened, especially since the attack occurred shortly after his birthday celebration. He added that the local government and the police will ensure that those behind the killing are identified and brought to justice.
Malungkot po. Siyempre, birthday ko po ngayon eh. Tapos po, milyari ka. Balo ko po, alano man po nga, alala pong kwento ka ako, alala pong kwento mayor, masaya lang mo pong masaya, alala mo po nga sabihan dati lang pong data. Tala po ulit pong dudulong ko kayong barangay da, sundas ng kula, biruan, po itong pisabihan may nanong gawan, tamo kayong baryo yun. Nabira po rin yung kahit pulis ang report mayor, ito pong ban ng Pemaridala, yun po nga agad pong kitang ipakanano na po rin ang kapitan. Sabi na po, ito pong netong ganyan dalan, makadokmuya, ito pong adwa, at ilo po kaya ang bantang netong kapitan ng barangay Nigi, may tura niya po kay gamat. Kareta po nga pamilya ng kapitan Jinky. Kaya bayo ko pong kayong kaluputan na po, kaya po kaya ang kakong pangadi, na yung kaya katamong kapitan, ulitan ko po. Malungkot, pero pakyabe kayo ng Phuket ang kakong pangadi. Kareta naman pong pamilya ng kapitan. Kita po kayong barangay Nigi. Nako po, magyari na report na po rin kapulisan tamo na safe naman po kapitan at itamo po kayo ng kayang gamat yung kayang dadaing na operande po siguro. Kaya taking JB. Kaya po nga kabalita mo, mamasa kayo po na ang resulta, ito pong investigasyon tamo, pabilisan, Siyempre, nakita mo po kayo ng Masantol, payapa tamo po kayo ng Masantol. Tapos may case yan, under na pong investigasyon ng kikatamong kapulisan po po yung Regional Director tao. Pero asahin niyo po na within 24 hours po, atin pong initial na report na pakibaluan, sabi ko po kayo na kikatamang COP na tingnan niyo kung report na within 24 hours na baro tamo yan. Data pong ginawa, makisabi na po kayo ang kareta CCTV.
Police investigation is still on the run as no suspect has been identified yet. Masantol police have expanded coordination with nearby towns to help identify the suspect behind the attack. Meanwhile, the provincial forensic unit is already examining the evidence collected from the crime scene. The Pampanga police is also urging the public to provide any information that could help solve the case. This is Shai Morales reporting for Eurotv News.
A massive blaze swept through 8 high-rise building in Hong Kong's Taipo district, killing more than 50 people and leaving over 270 missing as authorities probe alleged negligence linked to the ongoing renovation of the complex. Son Santiago with the report.
Flames and black smokes engulfed multiple high-rise buildings in a housing complex in Hong Kong's Taipo district on Wednesday. According to the latest report from the Hong Kong Fire Services Department, more than 50 people have been confirmed dead, including one firefighter. Meanwhile, over 270 residents are still missing. The affected housing complex, known as Wang Fuk Court, consists of 8 31-story residential blocks and is home to more than 4,500 residents. International media report that the fire began shortly before 3 p.m. and rapidly spread across all 8 buildings, reaching a level 5 alarm later in the evening. Video from the scene shows the entire complex wrapped in bamboo scaffolding and green construction netting as the buildings were undergoing renovation. On the other hand, the Hong Kong police have since arrested 2 construction company directors and an engineering consultant involved in the renovation project on suspicion of manslaughter, particularly for gross negligence and allegedly using substandard materials. Authorities have not released the names of those arrested. They also added that investigations are ongoing and the exact cause of the fire is still undetermined. As of today, fire officials said the blaze is now under control in 4 of the 8 tower blocks, while firefighting efforts continue in remaining sections. Meanwhile, thousands of residents have been safely evacuated and moved to temporary shelters. On the other hand, the Philippines Department of Foreign Affairs, through the Philippine Consulate General in Hong Kong, says it has received unverified reports that some Filipino domestic workers may have been trapped in the fire. However, as of this hour, the department confirms no reported Filipino deaths. It also adds that they are now coordinating with Hong Kong authorities to verify if any Filipinos were truly affected. This is Son Santiago for Eurotv News.
For more stories around the globe, ex-President Martin Vizcarra received 14 years of imprisonment due to corruptions. Graciela Corazon tells us more.
Former Peruvian President Martin Vizcarra has been sentenced to 14 years in prison after being found guilty of accepting bribes while he was governor of the southern state of Moquegua. Vizcarra was sentenced to immediate imprisonment and was also banned to holding any government position for 9 years. He is expected to appeal the court's decision. According to the Peruvian court, Vizcarra received approximately 36 million from his construction firm in exchange for contracts for the general infrastructure while he was governor of the Moquegua region from 2011 to 2014. This included an irrigation system and the construction of the hospital in Moquegua. Vizcarra has denied the allegations against him, saying there are not justice but revenge, but they will not bring him down. It will be recalled that Vizcarra had a political feud with the Peruvian Congress when he was its president from 2018 to 2020, which led to the dissolution of Congress. Meanwhile, the court wanted to sentence Vizcarra up to 15 years in prison, but due to his brother Mario Vizcarra's plan to run in 2026 presidential elections, this is not pursued. This is Graciela Corazon for Eurotv News.
After months of weather-related delays, the Larga Pilipinas cycling event is set to roll on November 29 to 30 with over 3,000 cyclists racing across Nueva Ecija, Tarlac, and Pangasinan in multi-category competitions. Kyle Basa tells us more.
For multiple months of suspension due to bad weather, Larga Pilipinas cycling event will now proceed on November 29 and 30, in which Nueva Ecija, Tarlac, and Pangasinan will be the main route. 3,000 plus athletes and cyclists will participate and challenge themselves in a 115-kilometer race on day 1, while day 2 is a 90-kilometer distance. There are various categories included in the race. There are Pro Elite, Mountain Bike Men's Open, Road Bike Boys 18 Under, Road Bike Men's 23 Under, Mountain Bike Amateur Boys 18 Under, and Fixed Gears. There will also be a one-on-one matchup between Mark Ryan Lago, the 2025 Large Gimba Champion, against Junjun Cabadido, the 2025 Larga Playan Men Open Champion in a challenge called Titan Ultra Challenge. For the cyclists who just want to enjoy, the event will also hold a fun ride category in which all genders, age, and even bicycles are allowed in a 30 to 40 kilometer race. And for the cyclists who will participate and have no places to stay, LGUs provided their municipal gymnasium in Napiquan, Nueva Ecija for their preparations in the race. Larga Pilipinas Operations and Creatives Head Snow Badua said that the reason why they executed such multiple events in a cycling race is to focus on originality.
So part 2 talaga ng aming ginagawa sa Larga is to find the original. No? Gaya nga po na sinabi ko, Larga is fast becoming to be a trailblazer ng Philippine cycling. And yun naman po yung ginagawa natin kahit po nung nag-organize tayo ng ibang event before. No? Na naghanap po tayo ng mga bago. No? Kasi yung mga tao po kasi naghahanap na rin po yan ng gusto nila makita.
He also added that the organization is hopeful for planning 2 to 3 racing events for the year 2026.
Mga karera. And hopefully po next year, we have already calendared at least 3 races. No? So hindi na lamang maghihintay na, April. Next year, April po ulit ang karera ng mga siklista natin. Unlike po yung...
This is Kyle Basa reporting for Eurotv News.
Moon River star Kim Sejong will soon visit her Filipino fans for her fan meet tour entitled 10th Letter. Sam Martos has the entertainment news.
South Korean actress Kim Sejong will return to the country again for her upcoming fan meet tour 10th Letter. In a social media post by Wilbur's Live, they shared the poster and ticket prices for Sejong's upcoming tour. Sejong first became known through 2016 survival show Produce 101, where she finished in 2nd place, giving her the opportunity to be part of the group Ideal of Idol that composed of 11 members. She also known as solo singer and has made songs such as Flower Way, Plant, and Top of Cliff. Aside from singing, Sejong also a talented actress who has taken on several lead roles in series such as School 2017, The Uncanny Counter, Business Proposal, and many more. Among the countries Sejong will visit Seoul, Taipei, Melbourne, Sydney, Hong Kong, Kuala Lumpur, and Yokohama. It can be remembered that the actress last visited the country in October 2023 for her fan meet titled The Door. The fan meet tickets will be available at the prices ranging from 2,800 pesos up to 11,500 pesos. Meanwhile, the 10th Letter tour will be held on February 21, 2026 at the New Project Theater in Quezon City. This is Sam Martos for Eurotv Showbiz News.
And that's the latest news for tonight. You may visit eurotvph.com for more news and information. Once again, I am KRIZZA Lopez.
You can also catch our live broadcast through our social media accounts and via an Extreme channel. I'm ALVIN PELOBELLO. Thanks for joining us. This is Eurotv News Trend. Stay safe and have a good night, everyone. I'm logged.